Welcome to Malifaux University. 617. Gaining Ground Scheme Ensnare. This scheme is unique among Gaining Ground's schemes, both in timing and targeting. It's not particularly complicated, but requires you to stay on your toes and constantly watch your opponent's models. You need to get one of them near your scheme markers twice, but the timing is the thing. The reveal condition for Ensnare is scored immediately, but it's not during your activation. You first need to have at least 2 friendly scheme markers on the table, kinda close to each other. Then, if an enemy model that is not a minion, so an enforcer, henchman, or master, starts its activation within 3 inches and line of sight of both of those scheme markers, you interrupt its activation to score the scheme. Before any other start of activation effects take place, you reveal the scheme, remove the 2 scheme markers, and score the victory point. Your opponent may then continue with her model's activation, but now there won't be 2 scheme markers nearby. You do not need to pick this model in advance or write it down. It really is a target of opportunity. The end condition is similar, but simpler. At the end of the game, if any enemy model is within 3 inches and line of sight of 2 of your scheme markers, you can remove those 2 scheme markers to score the second victory point. It doesn't matter which enemy model you use for this, as long as it can normally be counted for schemes. Just like the reveal, it also doesn't matter where on the playing area this happens. 1 enemy model and 2 friendly scheme markers are all you need. Remember that models with summon upgrades or tokens cannot interact and don't count for friendly schemes or strategies for the turn they are summoned. This will probably matter in this scheme only if you're counting on the summoned models to drop scheme markers, so be mindful of your timing. I'll take a brief moment now to thank all those who were patrons at the time this video was made, especially Sergey, Keith, Alan, Jeremy, Mikolai, Tom, and Travis, and many more at the free student tier. Your support is essential to bringing these videos to life. Let's see this in action. This Syndicate keyword crew led by Yannick Waller is in an encounter against a Bo Peep jockey crew and is working on the Ensnare scheme. The insignificant Pigapult enforcer is flinging gremlins and piglets all over the table, and the jockey models are running wild. Having already dropped 2 scheme markers about 5 inches apart, the Syndicate crew focuses on the lucky effigy to score the reveal. The Catalan brawler charges it with his brass knuckles and then uses Toss in the Mud to push it 2 inches towards the scheme markers. It's still not close enough, so Casey Jones charges the effigy with his ghostly crossbuck, using his Price of Progress ability to guarantee the knock aside trigger. With that, he pushes the lucky effigy another 4 inches, making it end up right between the 2 outcast scheme markers. When the effigy activates, the outcast player immediately reveals the Ensnare scheme, removes the 2 scheme markers, and scores the victory point. The lucky effigy then continues with its activation. In turn 5, the Syndicate crew waits to see where these jockeys wind up after running around so much. The lucky emissary rolls through Irina Keen and finishes its activation in base contact with her. She takes a superficial swipe at the emissary with her machete claws, and then takes the interact action to drop a scheme marker thanks to her Don't Mind Me ability. For the final activation in the game, Yannick Waller targets this Catalan rifleman minion with her Consolidate Power bonus action, using her Price of Progress ability to get the Draw Out Secrets trigger. Yannick pushes the rifleman 4 inches, and then drops a scheme marker next to him. At the end of the game, an enemy model is within 3 inches and line of sight of 2 friendly scheme markers. The outcast player removes the scheme markers and scores the second victory point. That's the Gaining Ground scheme, Ensnare. Pick up a printable set of all the markers and tokens you need to play Malifaux in the Wargames Vault. If you haven't already, join us on Patreon to receive early, ad-free access to all new content, and be sure to visit the Malifaux University gift shop for the latest in Malifaux-themed shirts, hoodies, drinkware, and more. Links are in the notes below. And remember, play friendly games, keep it simple, and have fun.